Members of the Petroleum and Natural Gas Senior Staff Association of Nigeria, PENGASSIN, in Ajib Oil Company today led a protest in Port Harcourt to demand an end to the acquisition of the company's facilities by Oando PLC. The protesting staff blocked access to Ajib premises in Port Harcourt, calling on the Federal Executive Council, the National Assembly and regulatory bodies to stop the transaction. The leader of the protesters and chapter chairman of PENGASSIN, a young survivor, alleged that the acquisition process is against known labor laws and, if allowed to be concluded, will lead to the sack of over 3,000 staff. He also claimed that the affected facilities in the acquisition process are the oil mining leases in Rivers, Bayelsa, Delta, and Imo states. He said staff has withdrawn services in all the facilities run by Ajib, and their action is already being felt as gas supplies have been cut from critical infrastructures and towns. In the same vein, the chairman of TUC in Rivers State, Foster Onyefuru, also expressed disappointment at Ajib Oil Company for not adhering to labor laws. Mr. Onyefuru spoke in an interview with our correspondent, Soibi Oduwari.
When the company wants to divest our interest, it's important to know that you cannot force a willing employee on an unwilling employer and vice versa. We recognize the right of Ajib management to decide to divest their interest, but they have to comply with the known labor laws and the CBA, the collective bargain agreement we signed with them, which stipulates that if they want to embark on such a journey, they must engage and discuss exhaustively the impact of such action on our members.
Mr. Onyefuru explained that PENGASSIN members have continued their protest because management of Ajib Oil Company are yet to discuss the terms of redundancy with them.
You simply follow the process of redundancy, declare us redundant, and pay us the necessary redundant benefits that you're supposed to pay us. If the new buyer decides that he wants our services, we sit down and negotiate terms and conditions of such services. You don't arbitrarily come up and then transfer people to an unknown principle that the terms of contract is not the same. What the workers now are asking is very simple. You have declared us redundant. Let us now sit down and discuss the details of this redundant.
The state chairman of TUC said the oil and gas sector will soon collapse if international oil companies are allowed to divest without collectively engaging its workers.
The oil and gas sector, by this draconian action of Ajib management, is already threatened. You know, they have OPTS where they go to discuss issues that borders on all the players in the oil and gas industry. And we are sure, the information, that even in OPTS, they knew that Ajib would be doing this. The industry is at risk because if Ajib succeeds, you will see Shell follow them, you will see Total follow them, you will see Mobil follow them. And that will mean that the oil and gas industry in Nigeria will collapse. And that is what we don't want.
A day after long queues surfaced at cooking gas plants across Port Harcourt following a scarcity of the product, two gas tanker drivers say they have begun loading gas at the depot. The drivers, in an interview with our correspondent, however, spoke on the difficulties they face.
My brother, that is you. Every gas plant just get low. I did for welfare depot. I did in the load. I don't think before you go enter, go load 9 to the problem. Trucks too much. Trucks just book for depot. Before you go load 7, you go there 3 days, 2 days. You don't get gas now. Ship just offload before yesterday. So they just load only 20 trucks yesterday.
Nah, that's what I say the company. I don't understand what they are doing. But no, now they are selling, but their loading is very slow. That is the problem. Because I've been here since last week Thursday. Some stations never still get them like our own. Almost 6 places. We don't have it. By tomorrow, everywhere will begin get gas because right now they are still loading, but rain is falling right now in Guzman.
Away from that, residents of Odogwa community in Eche local government area are worried over the bad state of the Odogwa road. Our correspondent reports that the road which links Odogwa, Okaragu, Okomoko, Umanyagu communities also connects Owaza community in Abia State from Olakwa Eche. An indigene of Odogwa community, Eugene Chinanu, says despite the economic contribution of the community, the road has been neglected by the government for years. He, however, called for urgent intervention.
Ottawa is an oil producing community in Eche. Endowed with so many natural resources, we contribute to the state's local government and federal government revenues. Our road linking Olakwa 1, Odagwa, to our nearby state, Abia, Owata to be precise. That same road also links Odagwa people to Okrago, Umayage, down to Kumoko. The road has so many connections, but in a deplorable condition. We call on the government, the multinationals, to please come to our aid. We have been suffering on that road for more than 5 years now.
Moving on. The governorship candidate of the SDP in Bever State, Senator Magnus Abe, has congratulated President Bola Tinubu over his victory at the Presidential Election Petition Tribunal. Senator Abe, in a statement, described it as a step towards actualizing the president's renewed hope agenda. He commended the tribunal for finally putting to rest questions around the emergence of President Tinubu as president in the last election. Senator Abe also commended the PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar and Labour Party presidential candidate Peter Obi for choosing to express their displeasure in the electoral process through the court. He said their actions have defined the essence of democracy. He also urged INEC to stick to its guidelines in subsequent elections and asked for such guidelines to be captured in the Constitution. Meanwhile, the 2023 PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has cried out over the non-availability of the judgment of the Presidential Election Petition Court 3 days after it was delivered. Special Assistant to Mr. Atiku on Public Communications Frank Shaibu in a statement said by not making available the certified true copies of Wednesday's judgment for his filings at the Supreme Court, the tribunal is undermining Mr. Atiku and Nigerians' quest for justice. He alleged the tribunal wants to have Mr. Atiku and PDP's appeal to the Supreme Court disqualified by the reason of time deadline. In the meantime, ahead of the November 11 governorship election in Bayelsa State, the Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has promised that the bimodal voter accreditation system (BVAS) will be used for the accreditation of voters and transmission of results. The new resident electoral commissioner Obo Efanga made this known while stating the commission's plans for the upcoming election at a press briefing in Yenagoa. He said INEC is still going to conduct elections based on its guidelines, provisions of the Constitution and the Electoral Act. The National Intelligence Agency (NIA) has called on the federal government to put foreign election observers on its watch list for national security. The Director General of NIA, Ahmed Abubakar, made this call during an event in Abuja. Mr. Abubakar, who was represented by the agency's head of general operations, Amza Mohammed, said the country should not grant foreign election observers access to certain things that are critical to national security. The NIA DG also stressed the need for reports made by such organizations on countries' elections to be scrutinized by the government. As you may know, INEC in the last general elections accredited 33 foreign organizations which deployed 2,113 observers to monitor the polls. Still to come, Court OK's fresh suit against Minister of Culture Anatu Musawa over appointment. Stay tuned as we go for a quick commercial break.
Excellency, the Governor of Rivers State, Sir Sinalaye Fubara, GSSRS, on the occasion of your marking of 100 days in office. Your Excellency, you are not just divinely orchestrated to feed into the subsisting New Rivers Vision School of Thought, but also, as scripture states, that there is a cross for every crown, and only the trained can maintain the throne. I also know that as you have structured your life in the scriptures, you will never suffer fracture, and the consolidation and continuity of the development of Rivers State is on autopilot, which can never fail. Long live Rivers State, long live Ministry of Youth Development. Thank you and God bless you.
This is the news on 92.3 Nigeria Info.
Thank you for staying tuned. Welcome back now to the rest of the newscast. The Federal High Court sitting in Abuja has okayed the fresh suit seeking to restrain the Minister of Arts, Culture and Creative Economy, Anatu Musawa, from serving as a member of President Bola Tinubu's cabinet. This is seeking the court sitting is seeking to not only declare the seat of the minister as vacant, but to equally bar her from receiving salaries and other allowances attached to the office. The Incorporated Trustees of African Leadership and Transparency Development Initiative, which initiated the suit, maintained that Ms. Musawa, being a 7 National Youth Corps member, is not legally qualified to be appointed a minister of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. The management of the Federal University Oye Ekiti State has temporarily shut down the school following the killing of a 200-level student of nursing, Modupe Atanda. The victim had earlier in the week been declared missing within the school premises, but was later found buried in a shallow grave in a bush on the campus after more than 24 hours of search. Police have dismissed claims of missing body parts of Ms. Modupe and say some arrests have been made on the matter. In business, as food prices remain above the rooftop, the All Farmers Association of Nigeria, AFAN, is assuring Nigerians of ongoing efforts by President Bola Tinubu to reduce prices of fertilizers, among other things. The association's national president, Ibrahim Kabir, in a statement said it will set up 3 committees to ensure farmers are reached in order to boost food security. Digital Satellite Television, commonly known as DSTV, says it is offering a special package called the DSTV Prestige. A statement from DSTV said it is turning its focus to the world of luxury, where exclusivity reigns and customers seek more than just products to create unique and exclusive experiences. It said the special package has 1 year of non-stop premium entertainment, VVIP customer service, a limited edition gold decoder, and exclusive lifestyle benefits. The statement said subscribers will enjoy exclusive discount from Swatch, Nike, Ecotel, Polo Luxury, Met Plus, Tommy Hilfiger, Adidas, and others. It also said that the DSTV Prestige is at dstv.com/prestige to sign up. In entertainment, winner of Miss Port Harcourt City, Stephanie Chukwuemeka, has called on the federal government to create job opportunities for Nigerian youth as a measure to fight crime and boost the economy of Nigeria. Speaking in an interview during a visit to Cool FM Port Harcourt, Queen Stephanie encouraged Nigerian youths to engage in more meaningful activities and shun all acts of violence.
What Nigerian youths need now is empowerment, job opportunities, like creating, even if it's not a white-collar job or something, just get them busy in a way that they can impact positively in society. Farming is not a bad job. When you engage youths in meaningful things, I'm sure the rate of crimes and joblessness will reduce. So you need empowerment and more skill acquisitions.
She also called on the relevant stakeholders to join hands with the government in providing food and drugs for affected flood victims in flood-prone areas of the country. In sports, Brazil captain Neymar says Saudi Arabia's football league could already be stronger than France's League One.
And now, we bring you news from around the world.
On the foreign scene, officials gathering at the G20 summit in Delhi say they expect the African Union to become the latest member of the organization. Indian Prime Minister Narendra Modi has called for the Pan-African organization to become a permanent member of the G20, arguing that developing nations need a greater say in global decision-making. The proposal has also won backing of the United States. The president of the European Council, Charles Michel, said he looked forward to welcoming the AU to the bloc. South Africa is currently the only representative of the organization from the continent. On the news this evening, you heard members of Pen Gassin today protested the acquisition of Ajib Company by Oando PLC in Port Harcourt. PDP presidential candidate Atiku Abubakar has accused the tribunal of plotting to undermine his quest for justice. INEC has promised to use the BVAS and promptly distribute materials during the November 11 Bayelsa governorship poll. On the foreign scene, officials gathering at the G20 summit in Delhi say they expect the African Union to become the latest members of the organization. The news was edited by Martha Okerinkem. Rain in Port Harcourt this evening. To reach the news team, send an SMS to 0808 721 7215. Again, 0808 721 7215. The number doubles as a WhatsApp number as well. Peace is the path to the prosperity of a nation. Let peace reign. Good evening.
This is